If you are anything like me and are just happy that it's Friday, then you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. And I got to tell you, I am fired up right now because I love the fact that I live in the West Valley. The studio's in the West Valley, and guess what? It's Luke Air Force Base. It's their Luke Days. And the cool thing is that I have the Thunderbirds flying directly over my head as we speak. So if you hear that rumbling in the background, I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone here, but the studio's kind of shaking a little bit. That means the actual Thunderbirds are right above my head. It's fantastic. It's just like, I don't even have to go. I've gotten the air show this morning. It's been absolutely amazing, and I love that stuff. So if you need something to do this weekend, we're going to talk about Arizona Game and Fish Expo they got going on, and then Luke Days going on out in the West Valley as well. So it's a huge weekend here in the Valley for just stuff to do with the fam. So I'm glad you're here with me, and hopefully I get to see you out at the Game and Fish Expo. That's where I will be, because again, I already saw the show. It's already out there. It's amazing, and I'll encourage you to. And if you're on YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube. It's neat to me that that there are videos of the lead pilot. And I've only seen the Blue Angels. Thunderbirds, I'm assuming it's the same cadence, it's the same thing. It is so cool to listen to the guy that's calling the shots while they're up there when their wings are just about to touch, and it's just they're doing all this crazy stuff and flying upside down and backwards and whatnot. And you hear the captain, I'm just going to say the captain, the guy running the show. And he sounds like this. It's a trip. And he's like, break right, 3, 2, 1, break. Like that. Because if you think about it, if he starts freaking out, everyone else should freak out. He ain't freaking out. Everything's good. Everybody's alive. We still got Bob out there on the wing. He's good. The new guy. Still got the newbie? Yeah, all right. Yeah, Cap sounds good. We haven't lost anybody yet. So it's really cool. So if you're on YouTube when the show's over, go ahead and check that out. Just put Blue Angels Cockpit or something like that. Whoa. So cool, so fun to listen to. So if you hear a little rumbling, that's what's happening around here, because after all, this is a live show, so I couldn't exactly knock on Luke Air Force Base's door and say, can you keep it down a skosh? We got the Go Show going on. Yeah, no, don't do that. It's good. We'll get to just a minute. We're going to get to the Game and Fish Expo going on out at Ben Avery, Carefree Highway, I-17. Cool, free. Whole family, free for the whole family. Go out there and have some fun. Get some cool outdoor stuff going down. But just aside here, another side, because it's my show. I do what I want. I just got a text from my son, intern Nooch. So all it said was Blake Shelton concert tomorrow. Okay, and I know he's talking the last couple of nights. He was talking about his girlfriend's sister or something. Her friend had tickets or something like that, and they were X amount of dollars. And that's all he said. So y'all know me. I'm not going to just play a game like, okay, gee, son, let me go ahead and take care of that for you. I got to jack with the kid a little bit. So I'm just like, okay, time, place, cost. He says 7 Westgate 80. That was his response. He's my son. And so I said, okay, well, how you gonna cover the cost? I said, sell a kidney. He said, sell both. I said, well, because I like having you around, because you can't survive without a kidney. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll cover part of the cost of the ticket. And so I know how much money he has in the bank account, stuff like that. I know, so he can cover a little bit. And so I said, okay, I'm going to help you out. What he does not know, that when he gets home from school today, or when he wakes up tomorrow, whenever we cross paths, because he's driving now, he's got a girlfriend, he does his thing. He's coming with me to the Arizona Game and Fish Expo, and he's going to be working the entire time. Oh yeah, there's no free tickets from Dad. You've got to work that. You got to work that out. So he's going to be my cameraman. He's going to help me out there, and he's going to do some editing when we get back before he takes a nap and goes out to the concert. So thanks for hanging out with us. This is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the world that we live in. Please subscribe, share this out, help me out. We're starting this, and I'm watching the tickers go up. I'm watching the subscriptions go up, and I'm so thankful for all of you for doing that. And then also we have the the podcast up on Spotify and YouTube after as well. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing that and letting people know what we're doing. A daily show right here on the interwebs. So Slavo came by, slavosalt.com. Use the code GOSHOW. You're going to get a bunch off your order there. Came by yesterday as we had split the bison and the Watusi. So he came by with the Watusi, and I got to tell you, my freezer is full again. And I'm not bragging. I'm like, haha, I got a full freezer. I just plan it like this. I don't like not having a full freezer. I cook a lot. And sometimes I get a little lazy. I'm not cooking a ton. And then we have to go through what's called an eat down. That's all we're having. Whatever's in the freezer is what's for dinner. You can go pick something out. That's fine. But that's what we're having. It's in the freezer, whether it's ground, whether it's steak, whether it's tri-tip, whether it's whatever it is, it's in there. Go ahead. If it's pork, if it's Watusi, if it's bison, if it's elk, don't matter. There you go. You get drawn all the time because you've got an outdoor show. I was just having a conversation with a person I met, Randy, and he said, look, I've been putting in for 10 years for elk. I can't get drawn. I have no idea. I used to hunt. He goes, I've hunted so many elk here in Arizona, and all of a sudden, just a dry spell. And I had to explain to him exactly how the draw works. Actually, I sent him the Game and Fish video. If you're on YouTube, you can go, if not, jump over to YouTube. You can scroll down and see the videos. There's actually a video from Game and Fish of the exact process by the woman who facilitates it, the exact process of how tags are drawn. I had to tell him it took me 9 years to get an elk tag, and then I've been drawn 3 of the last 6 years. So it's just random. And I've also stood right next to the director of Game and Fish, stood next to the commissioner of Game and Fish, how they were complaining about how they didn't get drawn this year. Not even complaining. They were just saying, I didn't get drawn. Yeah, I didn't get drawn. You would think if there were any kind of shenanigans going on at Game and Fish, that the director and with the commissioners would just have a tag. As a matter of fact, the commissioners have a lot of tags. It's an issue of controversy. Not too soon. We're not getting back into it. You can go back to the podcast if you want to. Big dust up, big kerfuffle. So they don't get tags every year. They're not guaranteed a tag. So it is a fair system. It's a good system, and it's what we do here in Arizona. So if I don't get drawn, I plan on another hunt, whether it's a hunt on a ranch, whether it's a guided hunt, whether it's over the counter tag, whatever it is, because I want to make sure that I have a full freezer. That's my main goal. Anyone that knows me understands how much I love the hunt. I love the camaraderie. I love camp. I love it all. My favorite part is cooking the game. That's it. Cooking and serving the game. I've had the most beautiful, just marbly, gorgeous ribeye steaks. I've had tri-tip. I have had a bison tri-tip by myself. It wasn't any fun. It just wasn't fun. I enjoyed it. It was delicious. It was fantastic. It was a dance going on. It was so good. But I didn't have it to share. Didn't share it with anybody. I just decided one day I'm just going to have a tri-tip right here. I'm just going to eat it. And that was good because I'm a grown assets man and I can. And I did because I had it and it still wasn't enjoyable. So the joy of hunting to me comes in cooking and serving the harvest. That is in sharing it with your friends. That is what I love to do. And cooking for the fam. The kids are so spoiled. I'm telling you, they've had the best game meat, the best recipes, all through Slavo, of course, because it's the way to go. But get over to slavosalt.com and get the very best seasoning there is. So along those lines, so Slavo came over. And so I had to make sure I didn't know he was coming. He actually called me and said, I had a change in my schedule. I'm going to come over and bring over your Watusi. I'm going to bring it over like now. Like, as a matter of fact, I heard him tell his dog, load up. Like he was leaving. There was no like, no, I'm not home or he's coming. And so, and I appreciate him doing that, by the way. Thanks, Slavo. Thanks, buddy. Because he lives in the Shaberhood. I live out in the West Side. So he drove all the way out here to do that. But I had to make sure there was room in the freezer. So I'm moving things around, shuffling things around, moving this up here, down there, to the other freezer, this and that. And then I see all these bison ribs that have been in there a minute. And I was like, I got to get rid of these things. They're like brontosaurus ribs. They're absolutely huge. They're ginormous. I don't know how to cook those. So I go online, I start looking around, and I'm just like, okay, how do I do this? How do I get these bison ribs to be absolutely fantastic? And there wasn't a lot that wasn't ribs looking the way I have ribs, because they see like the nice plate ribs, like the beef ribs, and it's just nice and perfect, and they're nice and rectangular, and then they just kind of peel off the bone and kind of mush up to the top and look delicious and amazing. Yeah, that's not what this looks like. So I have dueling ways I'm cooking bison ribs right now as we speak for tonight's din din. I've got the Green Mountain Grill at 225 right now, and I've got the big beasties on there, the big bad boy ribs, the big guys. So they're on there going low and slow, and then I have the smaller ribs right now in the crock pot, just going low and slow. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see how it comes out. Both of them just smacked with some Slavo. I used a little bit of the Green Mountain Grill's big game rub. And then of course, hit it with some Slavo, a little bit of spicy in there, because if it comes out, it's going to come out banging, especially with that Slavo spicy. So I've got the slow cooker going inside. I got the Green Mountain Grill going, smoking it outside. And we're going to figure out how this works. They should be done about the same time. Who knows? And that's what I was encouraging you yesterday. I was encouraging you when you're talking about camping. Try things first, give them a test run, and then go for it. Let's see here. Yes, absolutely. I am going to Ben Avery this weekend. So I will be there. I'll be there representing Wildlife for Tomorrow. I'm the vice president. Wildlife for Tomorrow is the 501c3 fundraising arm for Game and Fish. So just so we're very clear, and I'll keep reminding, because it's very important that you remind your friends and family as well. Game and Fish Department doesn't receive $1 from the general tax fund in Arizona. Not one. They're a government agency. They don't get the government benefits out of the tax fund. So they're funded by your license. They're funded by you applying for the draw, your tags, and organizations like us that are partnered exactly, just almost exclusively with the Arizona Game and Fish Department, where we will we raise money and we fund on the ground efforts for game and fish. So where they have gaps, that's where we jump in. So check out Wildlife for Tomorrow, wildlifefortomorrow.org. You can get involved in some of our fun stuff. We actually have a fun shoot coming up. And when I say coming up, it's next year. So it's February 1st. And it is going to be amazing. It's going to be at Ben Avery. It's going to be at the shooting facility. It's going to be a bunch of people. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great food. There's going to be great environment, a lot of competition going on. And we're going to have Nat Warfare there. And if you're going to the Game and Fish Expo this weekend, check out Nat Warfare. They'll be out there. See what I mean? It's so cool. Holy mackerel. Like, wow. Like if you're a younger cat and you have a bachelor party or something like that, that's a cool bachelor party. Go out to the desert with some Nat Warfare and just pop. Yeah. Info on the shoot, by the way, will be on wildlifefortomorrow.org. So get over to wildlifefortomorrow.org and check out the fun shoot. It is the, we call it the Conservation Cup. So come on, check it out to get a team of 4 and just see if you win, right? And I think they're having me MC because hell, that's what I do, right? Only 11 years of emceeing these gigs, and it's pretty safe to say I'm going to be there hanging out. So stop by if you're out at the you know, let's just forget about what the heck we're going to talk about. So go directly to this then. The Game and Fish Expo is going on this weekend. It is free 99 for the entire family. And when I mean free, gratis. Just roll in. Parking's free. Everything, it's free. Just go. And it's going to be a great time. It always is. They have a lot of cool stuff there. It's where my kids, when they were super little, it was one of the first things we did when we moved back to Arizona was go to the Game and Fish Expo. And it was, the kids were tiny. We had intern Sarah there. I think that might have been intern Sarah's first fish. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask her on that one. Because I think her first pick, she got this monster bass on the pond in Litchfield Park. I think it was gigantic. I don't know what she was throwing. It's something I put on the hook. I have no idea. But this expo has that kind of stuff. They at one time they had a little kayak lake. I mean, they have a lot of cool stuff there. And our buddies from Canyon Coolers are going to be there. You go over to canyoncoolers.com, use that code GOSHOW, get you 15% off your cooler. And they're going to be there. So it's It's probably going to be expensive for me as I just kind of tiptoe. Oh, I'm going to walk around a little bit. I might go see Jason over there at Candy Coolers. Yeah, let's go see. And a big thank you to Candy Coolers, by the way, for giving Wildlife for Tomorrow, our organization, giving Wildlife for Tomorrow a cooler to raffle off. So stop by Wildlife for Tomorrow booth and throw in your raffle ticket and see if you can win a mule. Those things are cool. It's a Candy Cooler on wheels. Yeah, and by the way, with the handle up as you're rolling it, the lid opens sideways, so you can still open it while you're while the handle's up. That's that cool. So candycoolers.com, you gotta check that out. But it's something for the whole family. Quite literally, there's something for everybody. There's shooting there if you want to try your hand at shooting for the first time. I believe there's a little bit of a fee for that. I think you have to buy ammo or something like that. It just kind of changes every year as demand fluctuates, whatever. And there's food there, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be a little warm on Saturday. Sunday is going to be banging. I think Sunday is going to be at the Game and Fish Expo. Sunday is going to be. Let's go ahead and look at this here. Let me see what we got here. What is it going to be? All right. So Saturday is going to be 80. Sunday is going to be down to 68. Heck yeah! Talk about going out with the whole family. The weather's perfect. Little bit overcast, maybe a couple clouds, wispy clouds in the sky. And just go out and have a great time. They got shuttle services running all up and down the expo, so you don't have to, get those steps in and make sure you get out there. It is a lot of fun, and it's just a really, really good time. So make sure you get over to the Game and Fish Expo. Slavo just sent me a text, by the way. He said thank you for not mentioning you loaning out the jumping jack trailer to me and what happened after that. That is its entire show. Because if you missed yesterday's show, we were talking about camping and lending out gear and borrowing gear. And Slavo borrowed the trailer. Slavo and I, we basically share the trailer. But he borrowed it, and some mishaps happened. Let's just put it that way. Some mishaps happened. Yeah, I had a bad experience. No, it was good. Everything's good. He's one of my bestest, closest friends. It's just... Whoo! All right, we'll share that. We might share that story next week again. If not, it's on the podcast. You can jump on the podcast and scroll down to. I believe I called it Slavo's Hunt from Hell or something to that effect. The titles I don't have in front of me right now, but that's definitely something we do. But Game and Fish Expo, or if you're heading out to Luke Days. Both days are going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I encourage you to get out there and make it happen. See, I got so just thrown around with what we were supposed to talk about today. Oh my goodness sakes. One thing that I want to revisit, actually, if I can, let's just do that. Actually, let's recap what we had going on this week, because a lot of fallout, a lot of shakeout has happened with regard to the commission tags, the auction tags. If you didn't hear, the Arizona Game and Fish Commission has decided to phase out the ability of groups to auction off the special tags that the commission gives every year, 3 per species, so 30 total. And these tags go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the auction part of it is going away. It'll probably move to some sort of a raffle sweepstakes kind of thing. I have no idea how it's going to end up, but we're going to figure it out. A giant dust up. The critter groups are just essentially just taking their ball and going home. And it was an interesting week. It was an interesting week for me, for your humble host, because I didn't know I ruffled some feathers. I had the commissioner on, and I thought we had a nice, respectful conversation. And non-respectful conversations or not disrespectful conversations are not something that I do. So not something that I do at all. And so I did not. And apparently I was supposed to. I wasn't supposed to, because I don't do that kind of thing. So we're going to see how it works. Here's what to keep an eye on, though, as we're all fleshing this out over the week. What you should keep your eye on is something pretty cool, because there are essentially 2 auction tags that are left this year. There's already been some this year and next year. That's it. After that, no mas, no more auction tags. So think about it. So think about the whatever Prince money bags or Jimmy John money bags that think, okay, this might be the last auction tag I can possibly get in the state of Arizona. It's the last elk tag, last deer tag, last sheep tag, last bison tag, whatever it is. This the last one. You ready for some record numbers? Holy cow. Because you got to understand, it was a pretty small group of people that just kept buying these tags. They more money than they need or more money than they could spend, so they decided to do these kinds of things. And by the way, it goes to on the ground conservation, so it really makes them happy. Fulfills them to just plunk $500,000 down for conservation in Arizona of that specific species, and then go get a trophy, and that's how it goes. Okay, so those guys do this primarily, and I've only heard of one instance where it wasn't, primarily for the prestige of having that tag. You're that guy. You have the tag. So they do this for the prestige. Could you imagine? And they've been doing that for years and years. Like, yeah, I got it this year. Ha ha ha. How about I got the last one? Woo. Yeah. Because that's bragging rights right there. That's I got the last commission tag for elk in Arizona, the last one you can auction off. Yeah, so look forward to that. By the way, there's going to be several banquets that go on throughout the year where they're going to auction off these. And by the way, a lot better auctioneers than yours truly. The pros that do this, not me. So the pros who do this professionally are going to see probably some huge numbers. I'm going to guess, and I'd put $1 to donuts, that I would say the last auction elk tag in Arizona will go for $1 million. It'll go for $1 million adjacent or somewhere around. There's going to be a margin of error, probably in $100,000. So $900,000 to 1.1, maybe. So that's something to very much look forward to. You really, I would suggest you keep your eye on it, because it'll be a jaw dropping coffee as you're scrolling through in the morning. You're like, the tag went for what? Yeah, and then go ahead in the comments and tell me, you were right, Mike. It did. Watch. It's going to be crazy. And we hope it's not sour grapes. We hope the money bags people don't just take off and not come back. We hope that they keep donating to conservation here, playing in the game, participating in the game. We really hope, as Arizona is the very first, the only, as it stands now, the only state that has eliminated auction tags. So we'll see what happens there. Then we went a little crazy. We went a little NRA loco. I'm going to have a representative from the NRA on next week. And it's important to me to do so because, I believe in the organization. I understand the Wayne LaPierre, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I totally understand. He's no longer with the organization. It's a new organization. They're rebuilding. I want to know what's going on in the rebuild. I want to know how the rebuild is going, the rebranding's going, the outreach, the donations. I want to know everything. And we're going to get that from my man, Travis, from the NRA next week, hopefully. And by the way, Travis, if you're listening to this or whatever, I'll ask you tomorrow at the expo, but I'm volunteering you to come on next week. And what was super important, and the reason why we're talking about the NRA, is that the NRA has a case before the Supreme Court as we speak. That case was represented. The NRA was represented by the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. Are you bleeping kidding me? Talk about crazy bedfellows. That was absolutely astonishing to me. But if the ACLU is anything, the ACLU is as much of a defender of the First Amendment as the NRA is of the Second Amendment. So not too far off there as bedfellows. But I was reading earlier in the week, I was reading from the ACLU site where they could not say enough. We don't agree with everything in the NRA. We don't agree with guns. Guns are scary. Went on and on and on and on and on and on. And then said, but they have a First Amendment case in front of the Supreme Court. Therefore, that's our charter, essentially. That's our flagship. Let's go. We're going to represent them. So that, again, is something like auction tags. That, again, is something to keep an eye on. And something to really, yeah. I'm going to tell you again and again that there are more reasons to join and be a member of the NRA than there aren't. And I'm going to have Travis on. I'm going to prove that to you. So I'm going to stick with that, especially when the government's stepping in and trying to violate First Amendment. Oh, now I'm a huge fan. I'm actually a huge fan of the ACLU right now. Come on. Let's take them on. No, we're not getting political. Don't worry. We're not going to get political. And then yesterday was nice and easy. Yesterday, we lightened up the mood a little bit, and we wanted to talk about the camping world. We want to talk about getting into camping. And this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. Just try it. Take that first step. That's all you got to do. Just take the first step and plan the trip. This weekend, if you can, if you want something to do with the kids, after you're at the expo or while you're at the expo, say, guys, why don't we get a camping trip together? And then don't let that go, by the way. Don't just say that. Let's get a camping trip and get together and we'll go from there. Don't do that. I've done that way too many times with my family, my girlfriend. I've done that too many times where I'm like, hey, we should just do this. And it doesn't get on the calendar. So things got to get on the calendar. So when you get home from the expo, you get home from Luke Days, wherever you're at, just say, we're going camping on these dates. Where do you want to go? And have the kids become part of that planning, have the other members of the camp become part of that planning, where they want to go, what type of camping they want to do, basically, really nice camping. And by the way, there's no such thing as glamping. There is not. I'm sorry. If you want to borrow your uncle's giant RV that's a house on wheels, okay. That's not glamping. You're still camping. You're still going out. You're getting in the outdoors. You're hiking. You're going to a different spot. You are there with the intention of being in the outdoors, whether it's on the desert, up in the forest, whatever it is, or by a lake. That intention is everything. So don't rip on people for, oh, you just glamping. Oh, yeah, you've got a tent. Oh, you're glamping. Back in my day, we just laid under the stars. Yeah, bugs eating us all over. Yeah. When we're hungry, we chewed bark off a tree. Who's ever going to want to do that again? Again, we want to win hearts and minds, right? We want hearts and minds. So if people want to camp with you, make it nice. Have some nice food, do all that, and don't think that you're glamping. Anyone tells you you're glamping, you send them over to Uncle Mike. I'll take care of this problem. I'll take care of good. If you want to be miserable and uncomfortable for your camping trip, right on. Cool. I don't. I'm too old. I work too hard. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Some people call my jumping jack trailer glamping. Come on. It's a canvas tent. It's literally a canvas tent with two very uncomfortable beds and a table. That's it. And what beds? I mean, beds basically, comfort level is cot adjacent, is what it is, as far as comfort level is concerned. Cot adjacent. So yeah, there's no glamping there. But if you do glamp, fine. If you want to be in a very nice camping spot with a lean-to, a barbecue area, a fire pit, and all that, good for you. Go. If you want to go out and just find a spot, find a nice flat spot to camp, it's great. Do that. But set it up and get it done and make sure that you're doing that, and do that this weekend. Plan stuff out, because before we know it, remember, we are in spring-ish in Arizona, and that can last a month and a half or a day and a half. So go ahead and plan as fast as you can before it is hotter than Hades out here, and get camping. Borrow stuff. Don't go break the bank. If you want some cool, cheap stuff, Army surplus stores are great, military surplus stores. And for like condiments and forks and plates and stuff like that, you always got the dollar store. So, or Walmart. I mean, it's just really don't go out there and break the bank. You don't need to. Yeah. And March Madness, apparently it's March Madness. Who turned March on? Holy mackerel. My son came home and said, yeah, Dad, I'm almost perfect in my bracket. I'm like, what bracket? What are you talking about? I'm like, oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. It's March Madness. Here we go. It is U of A GCU play. That's going to be great. That's great for Arizona. It's great exposure for Arizona, having U of A ranked number 2 and actually made it through the first round. Great job, U of A. Trying something new this year. Make it through the first round. And in GCU, the little engine that could, and making a name for itself in the tourney. So we'll see what they do there. I don't really know who to root for. I'm just going to watch. Yeah, I'm just going to watch, because I love U of A basketball. I went to U of A basketball camp as a kid, so I love U of A basketball. But like the Cardinals, I'm a Cardinal fan. You're like, we keep the bar set low, even though they're just rocking it through the season. We just keep, when it comes to tournament time, when it comes to U of A, we keep the bar set low. When it comes to any part of the NFL season, as a Cardinal fan, we keep the bar set low. We just do. Yeah, might as well just go out and hunt and fish. That's what I'm saying. And then check. Just ask Siri, what was the score of the Cardinals game? What was the score of the U of A game? Just keep your expectations set low. Yeah, but have fun. That is. Please do this. I-17 Carefree Highway starting 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Get out there tomorrow and Sunday It's going on. It is Arizona Game and Fish Expo. It is absolutely bananas for the whole family. It's free. It's gratis. You're not going to have to spend a dime to get in. There's cool stuff to get if you want to buy when you're in there, food and stuff like that, and some really cool art. And do us a favor, stop by the Wildlife for Tomorrow booth and say hi, will you? I'd love to see you there. I'll be there tomorrow morning. Stop by, introduce yourself, say hi, and we can we can have a chat about wonderful world of conservation. It's not going to be that bad, and I'll go ahead and I'll put you in for the Canyon Cooler, the mule. So yeah, I got you hooked up. You know, maybe an extra ticket. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe mention the Go Show. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you out at the expo. See you there.